Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, welcome to the 31st episode of another Sports Talk podcast. So, man, we got a lot of stuff going on. Man, NBA draft is going on right now. Um, I didn't really follow college that much this past year. Um, no real good reason why, just didn't. What is going on, Sean? How you doing? Hope you're having a great day, sir. Hope you're having a great day. Didn't really watch that much, college hoops, not as much as I normally do. I mean, but then again, to be honest with you, most of the time when I'm watching, I really wait for the tournament time. Like I'll catch some games, catch some stats, catch some stuff like that, some highlights and everything. But I really didn't, pay that much attention. So, like some of these players, and I've heard about them and stuff, but really, you know, I don't know, if when you hear people talk about them, they talk about some of these guys being good players, but I'm just not sure. Are they, like what level of good they are? Are they, you know, Hall of Fame good? Who knows? Are they, All Star good? Probably. Who knows? It's it's great if my eyes are open and I'm breathing. You got that right, buddy. Every day on this side of the grass is a really good day. So I think, um, from an overall perspective, it is what it is. Yo, how's the lake treating you? The lake is treating great. If you're sitting home, um, John is not going to be able to be on tonight. He has some stuff going on. Anthony, I did send you the link. Hopefully, you're not sitting home alone. If you're sitting home, and if Irene is there, I completely get it. But hey, we are going to talk some wrestling later on. Right now, just talking some basketball. Giannis Giannis the Greek freak, gets traded, to Miami. Now, Milwaukee got a pretty good haul. They got what's happening, Lockin? How you doing, buddy? Hope all is well. Um, the NBA, yep. You no, you're correct. You're correct. Oh, cool, man. You're always welcome. You get the invite every single week. You know, so I mean, you got all these trades. The thing that gets me more than anything with this, with the NBA, the one thing I can't stand about the NBA draft is they have trades that are announced, yet the player that gets traded still comes out for the team that traded him. So if Brooklyn and like the Brooklyn Minnesota trade, the Minnesota pick, the kid comes out and they're like, hey, the Minnesota Timberwolves select blah blah blah. And the kid puts the Minnesota Timberwolf hat on and he gets his picture taken with with the commissioner. But he's already not going there. He's going to Brooklyn. So his first picture after getting drafted is with a Timberwolves hat, which he's not even ever going to go ahead and wear. I don't get it. I think it's dumb. I think it is actually, it is actually just stupid. I don't understand it. Yeah, Milwaukee. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion, I think this was made because the New York Knicks won a championship. Yeah, you trade all your shooters and you have another guy with bam. And I don't mean to say anything, and I guess look I guess the way Miami figured it is we have to make a trade because no one's gonna want to come here to play with Bam Adebayo. I don't care that Bam Adebayo has the second most points in the game. Nobody gave a crap about that. It was against, a team that wasn't even trying to win or play or anything. And they just kept feeding the ball, feeding the ball, feeding the ball. So, I mean, that was a bunch of crap and everything. Yeah, and the Bucks gets picks in the 2030s. I mean, it really is the way the whole thing with the NBA works and the draft picks, you can't draft. You can't. Now, one thing I do like per se is that you can't trade 2 consecutive years first round picks. I kind of like that. But then I kind of say to myself, look who it is.
Yo. If
Man.
it isn't Mr. World Champion, how you doing there?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
World champion sitting on a lake. Life can't be any better for you, can it?
Well, it can. Because today we bought a pontoon boat.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah. But I mean, the whole Giannis Miami thing, you're a basketball guy. What do you think?
I think it's good for the league. I think Miami's a team that always has potential with the front office that they have there. Not to mention the fact that they still have a lot of old guys that are still heavily involved in the organization. So I think getting Giannis there is good. Now they have depleted their assets getting him, but I do think the fact that they have him and they have Bam, that's going to make it attractive for some guys to want to come there on the cheap, kind of like they used to do whenever, LeBron was like, hey, I'm in Cleveland, or hey, I'm in LA, like come out here for like a year and, help us try to get a championship. So I could see something like that happening out there. But yeah, I think that's going to be a nasty front court. Like, I don't want to defend that.
No, but the thing is you're just going to be able to go ahead and crowd the paint because they gave away all their shooters.
Yeah. True.
Hey, Mike, thanks for coming here, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, I think, like I just said a little while ago, I honestly think, I think it's I think it's part of a reaction of Pat Riley because the New York Knicks won a title.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget here. Giannis is 34 years old.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's easy to forget that. Like, it really is. Like, with his body of work and the way he looks still, it's really easy to forget that he's that old.
Right. I mean, you're looking at a guy, you're not getting it. I mean, you think about it. You traded for a 34-year-old guy. Now, look, not saying that he can't play 5 more years, 6 more years. Who knows? I mean, look, who thought LeBron would freaking go ahead and play until he's 40 some odd years old? Yeah, Miami has been trying to get stars and everything, and I think this is the way they had to go ahead and get them. I think they will. I think Miami once those guys left, once LeBron and Wade left, the truth of the matter was this: the only way Miami was getting a star was going to be via a trade, and that would be the way they'd get somebody who could potentially get other people to go there. I think this is what this is. They're looking, in my opinion, I think you're looking at Giannis, at 34 years old, saying, hey, comes down here, he plays good. Maybe we get a couple of younger, maybe we get some of the guys, in their late 20s that want to go ahead and come here now to go ahead and play with Giannis. Some of these shooters that the people, don't think about, right? Yeah, he's 34. He's got injury problems. I agree. Don't get me wrong. I think, to me, it was an overreaction, to the Knicks winning. The Boston trade, getting Jaylen Brown. I mean, I don't know. That would have been an interesting trade, from that standpoint also.
Yeah, for sure.
Now people are saying, like, Sean, Jaylen Brown come to Houston. I don't know what's going to happen. People are like, oh, he's unhappy and so on and so forth. I don't know. The guy has 3 years left on his contract. Who gives a crap? But I'm not trading you because you're unhappy.
We'll gladly give you guys James Harden and a first for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, that would be interesting. Yeah, Mosquito Lake. Ha ha ha, walking.
Did you hear Austin Reeves resigned today?
$185 million.
Yeah. I I work with a guy who likes the Lakers, and he was like, I can't believe they gave him that much money. I said, you want to trade him to me for James Harden? Nobody wants James Harden, surprisingly.
Oh, what about Trae Young getting 4 years,
I know.
basically $50
Yeah,
million a
didn't
year
they
for
max
that
him
guy?
out? Yeah.
It's got to be close. Hey, Mr. Infuego, how you doing? I mean, that's got to be close. The freaking guy, $212 million for 4 years. Holy crap!
It's wild.
You know, I don't know. It's interesting. You know, the draft is going. Like I say, you know, the draft's going on. I didn't pay that much. You know, bunch of suckers keep trading for him. I know. And supposedly this, when he said he wanted out, or when Atlanta talked to him about, listen, hey, we're going to move you.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, from what I have read, he only said that he would go to the Wizards. Like, that's the only team that he would accept a trade to, which is crazy. But when you look at Washington, they add the first round pick this year. The guy they added last year was, you know, could have been a number one. They have good young talent. They don't forget, a lot of people realize. And I know someone in the chat, please don't crucify me. We know who he is. They do have Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm taking it for what it's worth. You still have Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, and you got, you know, they've got some pieces there now.
That's true.
Funny thing about them, now 2 days in a row, I've heard like people just disrespect them with terrible teams. Like, so I heard Kendrick Perkins last night refer to them as like the Sacramento Kings of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
And guy today at work basically said they're like the Cleveland Browns of the NBA. I was like, wow, you just disrespected them.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, and who knows now, you know, now with the new NBA, with the new lottery rules, like, if you truly suck, it hurts you.
Yeah.
Like, if you are truly bad,
Mm-hmm.
you get penalized. You know, it's like, well, teams aren't trying to go ahead and win. Well, teams are looking and they're saying, how am I going to win? You know, like, how am I going to go? How do I do that? How do I win if I can't build a team? Yeah. Am I supposed to go ahead? You know, if I don't have assets to trade for I don't want to say stars, but, you know, even up and coming players, more left, you know what I'm saying? From that standpoint, what are you going to do? I mean, you have to look at it. And also, I hate to say it, but in every single sport, whether it's football, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball, whether it's hockey, I'm sorry, but there are just some places where you don't go ahead and hear about a whole bunch of people going, man, I got to go there.
Yeah.
I got to go there because they're going to win, you know, they're going to win, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, I just don't, you know, you don't go, you know, and that's what happens. It happens in the NBA also.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, what's the draw to playing in Washington, D.C.? You know what I mean? So how are you going to go ahead and build? You have to trade. And look, what are they doing? They're going ahead and they, you know, like, they got Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis was freaking thrown in because, you know, the friggin' Mavericks wanted to go ahead and just be done.
Yeah, for sure.
You know. Yeah, you're probably right. More teams will end up tanking because they're going to say, hey, you know, as long as I'm not in the bottom three, I got a better chance of going ahead and getting the first pick. So I can suck, but not suck real bad. I just have to suck, not really, really suck. Better to get into the lottery than make a play-in tournament. You're right. You're right, 100%. So who knows? I mean, you know, it's interesting to see what's going to happen from this thing. The other thing from the NBA, which I found very, very interesting, and it's not a player thing, it's a coach thing. And it's people are coming out now, some coaches, you know, some putting their name to it, some not. They're complaining about the contract that the guy got for Portland. Because the guy from Portland, he signed, I think, a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
but it's only 1 year guarantee. Year 2 and year 3 are team options, not even a coach option, team
Oh
option.
wow,
Now,
interesting.
like I understand you going ahead and being complaining about, but let me ask you a question. Anybody going to go ahead and say anything to the coach? Like, didn't he have to agree to it?
Probably.
I mean, right? Well, you're sitting there, and I go, Anthony, I want to hire you.
Yeah.
And you're going to be my next coach, Anthony. But here's the way it's going to work. I'll guarantee you next year. But being that you're a first year coach and everything, I'm not sure. I'll give you 3 years, but year 2 and year 3, that's going to be, that's going to be a team option. You're not guaranteed to come back.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'd be tough, especially if you're going to Portland. Like, I
right.
could see if you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take over like the Celtics or, a team that actually can compete. They just need like a better coach or like a piece or two. But if you're taking over a team like Portland that needs a lot to be even competitive, that's a tall ask. Now that would be like a ultimate bet on yourself type thing. You know what I mean? Like I would want to have some kind of incentive. Like, okay, well if I'm coach of the year, then we get to reevaluate this and re-sign a long term for like what I'm actually worth. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Like so if you come in and you like turn around a franchise, like we've seen some of these guys come in and do. At some point you'd want to have some kind of a some guarantee, even if, you try to make that like a mutual thing after 1 year.
Yeah, and Locke and I agree. The guy had been passed over a number of times. He decided to take a shot. But what I'm saying is, other coaches, I'm not look, and I'm not talking about opinion, but don't be mad just at the team, right? The
Yeah.
team went ahead and made the offer. The other guy had to agree to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The other guy didn't be like, nope, not going to do it. And his name and his signature magically got on the paper. Yeah. He had to agree to it. And I agree from that standpoint. He took you take a shot. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to figure out, okay, where Portland, I look at my squad. Now you're the coach, and now you have to be wondering, in my opinion, right? I'd be wondering, okay, what do I have to do to get for them to want me back year 2?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're to me, I don't think you like. Do you really want your coach thinking that way? Like if you're the owner of the team, do you really want your coach focused more on what do I have to do to get to get them to want me back in year 2?
Mm-hmm.
What happens? I mean, if I'm assuming, yeah, guys, well, hey, if there's injuries, they're not going to hold it against him, but who knows? But now they have every opportunity
Yeah.
to go ahead and all of a sudden, let's say Eric Spoelstra, for whatever reason in Miami, decides, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm done. Okay, hey, you're out. Eric, we're going to make you the highest contract offer in the history of coaching for basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't like that. They made the playoffs, get a little bit back, so expectations. Yeah, that's what I mean. Expectations are going to be up for a first year coach. I mean, you can't like not make the playoffs. So I don't like the deal. I think it's bad. I hope it is. I hope it is not a sign of the times with certain teams. Of thinking that way. Hey, ooh, you're a new guy. I'm gonna, oof, maybe I'll think about what I might do, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I will. No, I won't. You
Mm-hmm.
know. Then the other thing is, you know, are these guys going to be willing to go ahead and say no? So if you're a long-time assistant coach, are you going to be willing to say no to becoming a head coach?
If
Even
you have another opportunity, I don't see why you would.
right, right. But to like Larkin said, this guy Nori, he's been passed up. Like I think 3 times. I think he's interviewed. I think he interviewed for the Suns. I forgot. They said he interviewed for a number of other head coaching jobs and never got one. So I don't know. I to me, I just, I hope that I hope he does really well. Kind of, you know, makes them go ahead and say, "Hey, all right, we'll take we will give you the year number 2 and everything." And I hope he just goes ahead and he makes it and everything.
Yeah, for sure. That would be cool.
I am surprised, like I said, with the NBA, we really haven't seen a whole bunch and everything. More trades or anything coming yet. It's going to be interesting to see, uh, you know, where things lie out. People are wondering, DeMar DeRozan, where is, Westbrook going to go? A bunch of people, in that level. So, we'll see what happens, with going on with that and everything. Um, Hockey is also doing their thing. They have their draft coming up this week. There's been a whole bunch of hockey trades, which was crazy. But one of the things that was interesting was that Buffalo had a guy who was going to be a free agent. So they worked out a deal with the Washington Capitals, a sign and trade. What's cool about this guy's name, I think it's Tuck or Touch. It's Tuch.
Uh-huh.
He's coming off a 7-year deal that he signed. He started with Vegas, right? So he's in the league, right? So he's a free agent after 7 years. He signed a 7-year deal.
Nice.
Going to the Washington Capitals. He just signed an 8-year deal with the Washington Capitals.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy who plays for, signs 2 contracts, and those 2 contracts are 15 years.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yep. Pick 31, traded to Houston, but the guy, see, this is what I hate about the freaking NBA draft. They do this to these kids. They make that trade, and they make him go out there, and his first picture of being drafted is with a New York Knicks hat on. A team he's never going to play for. I don't understand why the NBA does that. I think it is absolutely horrible.
They were trying to explain it yesterday because that Heat trade, they ended up getting another pick. I think it was pick 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, well, he's still going to have to come out and wear the Milwaukee Bucks hat.
Yeah.
Or the Miami Heat hat instead of the Milwaukee Bucks hat. Because technically it was the Heat's pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's making the pick on behalf of that. It's just dumb, like you said.
I mean, I just don't understand that with the NBA. It's I don't know. It's a very interesting league. Who knows what's gonna? I mean, like I said, the way they're changing the lottery, I think, is terrible. But I can understand what they want to do. Who knows? All I know is you got more young guys come. I think the first 8 picks were freshmen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why have them go to college for 6 months?
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, they seem to do pretty well with the Kobe's and Garnetts of the world, the LeBrons.
I mean, you have the G League now, right? Shouldn't the G League be more for that? So, hey, the high school kids, you coming out, you want to be a pro. If you don't get drafted, then you have a G League draft, and these kids can get drafted into the G League. Because let's face it, with some of these kids, whether it's Peterson for Kansas City, for Kansas, or Bazenza, whatever his name was, for BYU, maybe he's different, but, how many of them after their team goes ahead and, is out of the NCAA tournament, how many of them, really like, yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and bother going to class anymore. I'm a top 5 draft pick in the NBA. Even if I would have finished this school year out, what's the difference?
Yeah, I'd be curious to know, to be honest with you, especially if you're only at that school just killing your time before you can get drafted.
I mean, I can't believe that's not they've done some things about, they've had some, I think, what do you call it? some reports every now and again, about how, like, I remember back in the day, you know, with certain schools and everything, like the players would even say, "Yep," it's like after their team lost in the NCAA tournament, they're like, "Well, my last day, I have to be on campus, or I have to go. Oh, I have to go to campus and clean out my, my
Mhm.
locker and my dorm room,
Yeah.
and then go get ready for the NBA draft and stuff." So I don't know. I I wonder if they will go back to the high school, letting the high school kids come out. Like, to me, if you have the G League, you should
Mhm.
be able to.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay, you don't want to go to college, you don't get drafted in the NBA, then you go to the G League.
Mhm.
The G League draft, but I people go, well, but the G League teams are associated with the pro teams. Okay, what's wrong with that? What is wrong with, I don't know. I don't know where, I don't know who, if Cleveland has, let's say Cleveland's G League team is in Dayton, right?
Yeah.
So who cares if they, let them draft who they want to draft. These kids weren't good enough to be, to come up to the NBA,
Yeah.
but we like them enough. So all right. So hey, he gets drafted to Dayton, and Dayton is the Dayton is the escalator path, to
Yeah.
Cleveland. Let it be that way. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. No, I agree.
You know?
I definitely think that they should expand that. I think that the G League has been really good for the league. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of really good players come out of the G League and turn into really good NBA players.
Yeah. And look, maybe the G League goes ahead and gets some rain if they can't, you know, step up the ladder and get to the NBA. Maybe it opens up something for, for going to, European League, one of the teams over there and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a guy that I went to a Division II school, and our, like the big superstar that we had at our school, he went over and played with Italy and everything, and he was like, I mean, didn't have to buy a drink, didn't have to buy a meal,
Yeah.
nothing. And now, now his son is playing over there and doing, really, really well. So it's not, I mean, you know, it's not like it's not like there is another opportunity.
That's what's cool about basketball is it's more of an international sport. So if you don't make it here, there are other options.
Yeah. Yep. But there was a whole bunch of stuff in the you know, in the NBA, in the NHL, nobody cared about or anything. Football. What do you think about the whole thing with how do you pronounce his last name? The kid, is it Sorby or Sorsby?
Oh yeah, the kid who was gambling,
Yeah, what do you think about that whole thing?
crazy man. He blew such a great opportunity. Um, hopefully at some point, like he'll learn from it and get another opportunity. But I don't think it's going to be anytime like in the immediate future. Seems like he's going to, maybe get an example made out of him.
Well, I know they said that the NFL, I
Mhm.
guess he was the only player who applied for the supplemental draft,
Oh, okay,
and the NBA and the NFL said, "Yeah, we're not having a 2026 supplemental draft."
interesting. Do you think it was basically they just wanted to like blacklist him, or do you think they didn't want to do it because they didn't get that much interest?
you know, I think it's a combination. I think it's more of, hey, listen, we can't go ahead and have you, gamble, 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 get kicked out of the NCAA, and then think it's okay, to just enter the supplemental draft,
Mhm.
be able to get drafted and everything.
Yeah.
You know, need to make an example out of him that cleared him to play. Yeah. I agree. I think it's more to make an example and make
Yeah.
people think twice. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. How many commercials during the NCAA games, during the NFL games, during watching highlights on ESPN do you see about gambling?
It's probably 40% of the commercials.
You know what I mean? Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that means, well, hey, because of that, no one should go ahead and get in trouble. I'm not saying that at all. Now look, he bet on some games that he bet where he shouldn't have. But let's say you have a kid. Number one, you got NIL money like crazy coming in.
Mhm.
You pay a kid $4 million to play college football. I mean, what if he bet on basketball, baseball, and hockey?
Mhm.
Even if he had a problem. Let's say he after agents figured out, let's say he lost $1 million gambling, but it was on baseball, basketball, and hockey, not football.
Mhm.
Is that okay? Like, is he only in trouble because he bet on college football?
Probably. They probably consider it a conflict of interest, I'd imagine. I don't know what the rules are in terms of other gambling, but I mean, what's the difference between betting on a different sport than going to a casino and blowing, $10,000 on a craps table?
Yeah.
Playing
Yeah.
poker, whatever, like a lot of athletes probably do.
Yeah. He was a backup on like Cincinnati or something like that. He sucked.
Mm-hmm.
He was banned. I think he might have even played for Indiana. I think he went there. I just think it's interesting, again, if you bet on the sport that you're playing, I completely understand them having an issue with that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a University of Texas guy talking. Texas Tech should be banned from players for signing the kid. I just, it's part of the hypocrisy of saying, man, we don't like gambling.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they go to commercial break. Hey, check out the latest stat lines from DraftKings.
Or Fanatics Sportsbook.
He gambled while with Tech. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying from that standpoint. I completely am behind suspending someone if they are betting on the sport that they are playing. But what if he went to the racetrack and he watched the horses and he lost $1 million at the horse races?
Yeah.
Where does that go? Oh, Sean, shots fired. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my only issue with it. I don't know. Supposedly, they said that the decision came down to its right to decide whether to hold a supplemental draft per the collective bargaining agreement. So the NFL has it. They said it would believe it would be a distraction to teams beginning training camp. I mean, really, the supplemental draft is going to be it's going to be it's going to take away from, it's going to be a distraction from training camp. Who gives a shit about training camp? Players don't even care about training camp.
Talking about practice?
Practice?
2 days?
Yeah. So, like I said, that's my biggest thing is, it's like with the NBA. What hey, the halftime show is brought to you by DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
But don't gamble on sports, kids. I mean, they think this NIL thing was going to just be everybody setting themselves up a good a good Roth IRA for my future. I'm going to invest all this money. I'm not going to have to worry about it. You know, you give 19-year-old kids, you give them $1 million, $2 million. What do you, I'm not,
Yeah, for every kid you have that does something smart with it, you're going to have 10 that do something stupid with it. Take it from me, I did a lot of stupid things with it.
I understand.
And I didn't even have that kind of resource. If I did.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's tough. What does the University of Texas win, Sean? They win in gymnastics, golf, water polo. What are they winning? Sean, you must be overjoyed with the college baseball. There you go, bowling, baby. University of Texas won the brisket bowl. They made the best barbecue.
Hey, that ain't nothing.
Look, this is where he has to go. This is where he has to go. Go ahead. Ha. Okay, big deal. The New York Mets suck. You heard me say it here. It's the most frustrating thing to see. I expected the team to be bad. I mean, well, I shouldn't say. I didn't expect the team to be great. I did not expect them to suck as much. Softball, swimming, and rowing. 3 massive financial supporters of these sports department at the University of Texas, bringing in the big revenue.
Everybody wants those new Prism rowing cards.
Oh man, college sports has a lot to they have a lot to figure out.
Yeah.
With the way they're going with these conferences and everything, and now wanting to go ahead and have like a 24 team playoff type thing. It's like, holy crap, man. What is going on? So,
how are your Jets looking so far this year?
What's gonna suck. So there was rumors, there was talk that if there was the supplemental draft, that believe it or not, the Jets may have thrown like a 3rd round pick for Sorsby.
Mm-hmm.
There was talk about it. The kid appears to be a talented football player.
Mm-hmm.
He appears to suck at gambling, but he appears to be a pretty good football player.
Yeah.
Yes, the Wizards of the NFL. Not a lot of people are wanting to come. They're doing good. They're locking up some of their young, they're locking up their linemen and stuff like that. They're trying to get that part figured out. I don't know what they're doing, to be honest with you. I mean, the draft was, I don't know, David Bailey at number 2. Like you were there and everything, you saw it. I mean, I think a lot of people have gotten a good response or everything, but I just, I don't know. I think the kid Reese would have been a better shot at 2, just because I think ultimately his upside is better than Bailey's, but Bailey's more proven right now, and I think that's what they were afraid of, right?
Yeah, for sure.
A little more of a proven guy, but to me, he's good, but if it was that special, he would have come out this year. That's true. That's true. You are 100% right, Locke, in that if he was that good, Sorby would have come out. But I think, like we've said before, hey man, I go play college football, enjoy that kind of life, and I get $4 or $5 million. you know, yeah, I'm going to delay the NFL, but I'm going to get paid, a good amount of money. So, I don't know. My fear about the Jets, I see it's kind of hard. You don't want to root for your team to suck really bad. But I'm of the opinion that, look, if after the first, 4 games of the season, in my humble opinion, if the football gods say, look, you're not going to be good this year, then don't just not be good. Suck. Like, I mean, be like, don't be the kind where you go ahead and suck, but you're still getting like the 9th or the 10th pick.
Yeah. They
Like,
need to bring you in for a pep talk.
If you're gonna
Turn
suck, you
around.
got to be number one, number two. You have to be there. You can't, don't go ahead and and give a little bit of hope. Because that's what it is. Oh my gosh, if we could just go ahead and make the playoffs, make what? Then what? Okay. I think Arch might have one more year. Look, that's what the kid from Oregon did. They'll say he wanted to go back, but the kid, what's his name? Dante Moore, I think his name was.
Yeah.
Supposedly, everything that everybody said is when he found out the Jets had the 2nd-round pick, he decided, I'm going to go back to Utah. I'm going to back to Oklahoma. Oregon, and wear those crazy ass uniforms. And then Oregon thought he was leaving, and they went into the transfer portal and got one of the top, or one of the more coveted quarterbacks to go to Oregon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You happy about Rodgers coming back?
I mean, I have mixed feelings on it. You know what I mean? Like, I would like to see what we have in Howard and Aller, but by the same point, I don't think either of them are ready yet. So I think having Rodgers there to kind of teach them is good. I think ultimately the Steelers, like, future quarterbacks, probably not on the roster right now, but hoping that, with Rodgers, these young guys can develop.
Yeah, I know he's not considered, a can't miss kid or something along those lines. But I mean, I like Drew Aller a lot. I'm not saying that he is Josh Allen, but he appears to have some of the same traits as Josh Allen, the big kid, the big arm, those types of things like that and everything. So, I mean, that's that's what I liked about the kid. I think, my only fear, yeah, Larkin, Arch does. So Arch does. Let's talk to Mr. Texas. Sean, he knows. The thing excuse me. The thing that you hope, from a standpoint of Aller, is that it's not another one of those from Penn State, not, I mean, I don't know how close Penn State is to Pittsburgh.
It's like 4 hours,
Okay.
but I still like Penn State. But
yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's not like if he went to University of Pittsburgh,
mm-hmm.
and then you get drafted, then it's like, oh my, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like what's his name that they tried with.
The thing is, he got trolled by his family when he got drafted by the Steelers because they're all Browns fans.
No way.
Yeah, legit.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. So hopefully it's not one of those type of deals, with him. I don't know. NFL is just, I don't want, they're becoming unwatchable because you can't, like, all the subscriptions you need to be able to watch them.
Yeah, I know.
this game's going to only be on Amazon. Or this game's only going to be on, the NFL Network. Or this game's only going to be on this. Or this game's only going to be on that. You know what I mean? It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That was it, Kenny.
Tons of money to be doing that, though.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes, I think some of these guys.
Hey,
What's
John.
up, Johnny? How you doing? We are doing well. Thank you very much for stopping by. Please make sure you go ahead and, again, take care of what you got to take care of at home. Way more important than sitting here talking with us about stuff that in reality is not going to change the world. I don't know. I get, I guess, you wonder about the, I mean, let's face it. Every team, that so much weight gets put on the pick of that quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of tough. For any of these young kids, I give some of them, credit and stuff like that. Like I give Bryce Young for Carolina credit, right? It was a kid picked, boom, supposed to be it. Gets benched for friggin' Andy Dalton, Red Rocket, or whatever the hell they called him.
I believe the Red Rifle. I believe the Red Rocket will belong to your dog.
But he got another opportunity, and he played a lot better. Not saying he's a stud or anything like that. Not saying he's going to lead them to to the Super Bowl, but he did play better. From that standpoint. But who knows? I mean, with these, it's crazy how it is. With NFL, man, it's the quarterback. And you put a lot of faith in these young kids, and if you haven't gone ahead and done everything else, around them, it doesn't make a difference how good they are. In my opinion, could be great in college. Could have all the physical tools.
Yep.
But if you're expecting the kid to go ahead and get rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds because your offensive line sucks, you're gonna have a problem.
Yep.
You're gonna have a big problem.
Yeah, you're not even gonna have a route developed in that time.
No.
Unless you do nothing but screens.
I was gonna say, unless you want to go ahead and be the type of team that just throws screen passes,
which has been the Steelers for like the last 3 years. A little less with Rodgers, but hopefully a lot less now that we got some weapons for him.
Yeah. I agree there. I think, he had, it's good. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Is this it's gonna be interesting how he handles the whole retirement thing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. There will be pictures soon. So we'll see. We will see what happens, man, and everything.
Are you gonna do any videos on that boat? Speaking of the question.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah. He will. I mean, I still have to be up on the deck and do a rip.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
With the lake and the thing, and then sit on the boat, do a rip, sit on the dock, do a rip.
Oh man, Cooper Flag just fell.
Can't imagine that. Oh my gosh, it's Wemby to 25. Oh crap.
I don't think it's a 10 anymore.
Right, rip and chip from the ship.
Yeah. Rip from the
Sorry about that, Wemby. But hey, if I go by Kurt's card care, who knows what happens?
hilarious. I saw a card the other day that is like a notorious print defect, and like when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, somebody must have had Kurt's card care on this card." And then I looked into it. It's the optic set from I think 2021 or 2022. The Anthony Edwards has like a defect on it where like it looks like the stats are like almost fully erased, and even like a part of like the set name looks like it's been like kind of erased. And I was like, this has to be Kurt's card care. So then like the more I looked into it, I was like, it's actually a print defect through the whole set, only on the Anthony Edwards card, which is crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, I thought I saw like my first Kurt Eaton card.
Yeah. I saw a post on Facebook, and they were saying before people were commenting, it's an error card. Send it to CGC, man. They'll grade it. It'll be awesome. It's from Topps Chrome Platinum,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a Cal Ripken to, I think it was the orange, which is the 25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On the front. And then you flip it over, and it's Franz Wagner from Hoops is on the back.
That's kind of cool.
Like,
Wow.
you hit friggin' the Iron Man,
Yeah.
Cal Ripken, at a 25 or at a 50 even, and you flip the card over to see, and you look at it and you go, Franz Wagner? Are you freaking kidding me?
Nice.
No, Sean. A proper update would be the Cubs are now ahead 5-4, first and third, nobody out. Look, I'll kill myself, Sean. Yeah. He's like, and at first people the first time the guy didn't show a video. He just took a picture of the front of that card,
Uh-huh.
and he took a picture of the back. And
Yeah.
one guy was like, yeah, right, I want to see a video. And the guy goes ahead and he takes the card and he shows it. And the video, you see him, he goes ahead and he flips the card right over nice and slow. People are going, holy crap. How does that one card go ahead and happen to? You would think we'd hear about more of that. But how does a basketball card get stuck in there?
From what I understand, I think a lot of the manufacturers use the same printers. So it's just poor quality control, most likely.
But the Hoops is a Topps product now, too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And the NBA Hoops that recently came out was Topps. Somehow they were able to go ahead and use NBA Hoops.
So is Panini still using regular Hoops? Or are they not able to? Did they lose that license?
Don't know. I haven't seen it. The only Hoops I saw was from Topps.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. It'll be kind of interesting to see if Panini continues to try to print unlicensed cards, kind of like they've been doing with the baseball cards for a while. Like I kind of assumed they would just switch everything to that style, but with the whole Leaf and Fanatics thing going down, I wonder if they're going to try to like fight them from being able to do those type of things.
So NBA owns the Hoops brand. That's why I was able to come over.
Makes sense.
What is the Leaf Fanatics thing? I didn't hear about that.
So Fanatics and Leaf are in some kind of a legal battle because of using NFL players. Like, because they have the license, they don't have the license, but they have like the contract with each individual player. So essentially what Fanatics is saying is we don't want you to have any of these players imaged in your products, like at all. So like they're trying to sue them over the fact that some of these players that are I guess, signed with the Players Association are also featured in unlicensed product.
Oh, wow.
So, like, that's what makes me think maybe they might try to block Panini from being able to do some of that stuff.
Well, I know Panini for baseball released Donruss baseball. I know I'm not exactly sure what they do from a standpoint of you know uh, when I looked at the checklist, it was weird because there were guys that were in the major leagues, that are in the checklist, and I found that interesting. I didn't, wasn't sure how that was going to go ahead and go down or anything like that. But
have you seen the Minions top cards that are out now or coming out now or whatever, like the short prints?
No, which ones?
So they basically are taking like famous like tops like series 1 cards of like Aaron Judge, of like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Paul Skeens, like those type of players.
Yeah.
And into like minions, like of the exact same pose of the player on the card, but just as a minion. They look pretty cool. I was checking them out online. I saw them on, I think, might have been Instagram or something like that.
Oh, wow. I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, I think Topps had put out something about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, like on my, like Huddle YouTube and stuff. Like when I go to that YouTube channel and stuff, I mean, when you get your list of, suggested videos and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'll tell you, I would say maybe 1 out of every 8 that is suggested is is card content.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not even. It's like, hey, I went to a garage sale, I went to a yard sale, I went to a flea market.
Mm-hmm.
I did see one. It's like, oh, I went to Card Collector 2, and what, am I disappointed? Am I not disappointed? Stuff like that. I mean, but when when I go through and stuff and everything, I mean, there's just there's just it's not a lot that's out there, and the stuff that is out there is really, it's not about the cards that are being found, you know what I'm saying, in the product anymore. You're not hearing about, the big cards. Are like one of the big things I saw on X, people are saying, hey, still the biggest card from 2023 Bowman baseball draft.
The Brady?
The Brady, the 12 of 50, nowhere to be found.
Yeah, because Michael Rubin has it in a one-touch. That would be funny though. But yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, who knows where that thing is? But could be the case.
Well, where's the Olympics triple auto? Durant, Curry, and LeBron.
Yeah.
The 1 of 1. Where's that?
Yeah.
Like you just, you're not hearing about a lot of these special big cards that are supposed to be out there. You don't hear about them being pulled anymore. You don't hear about them being pulled at all.
Yeah, I saw on LinkedIn, Jason, the president over at Upper Deck, did like a whole post about it, basically saying that he thinks some of these things have probably been pulled and they're just in somebody's collection, like whether the person doesn't know how monster of a hit they have, or maybe it's just somebody that doesn't want to like publicize that they have something that valuable at their house. But for the most part, I would think most people that pull like a once in a lifetime, like, hey, this is the Mac Jones 1 of 1. I want to sell that right away because it's not going to be worth anything in a year,
Right.
But then again, like it could be like if it is that Brady or that like triple auto from the Olympics, like that's something that should potentially hold value.
I mean, the triple auto from the Olympics, I can understand. That's Topps now.
Yeah.
Right. So that's not going to a breaker or anything like that being open, right? But you would think if you're a breaker, like if you're breaking, it's going to be on the internet or somewhere. I don't care whether you're breaking on Instagram Live or you still thinking Twitch is the way to go, or Facebook Live or YouTube or any of the other, whatnot or district or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But so you would think if that card was pulled, any breaker would want to be like, hey, we pulled a Brady,
For sure.
right? Like, and how could you not, you have to do that stuff live, right? So how could you, like, you can't fake that. You're doing it live. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Oh, so on and so forth. Now, again, to your point, Ken Golden probably has that Brady. To your point, some guy opened up a jumbo box and he got it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you would think any average person would sell that card because it's life-changing money.
Unless you're like a whale. Like, what if you're a whale, you buy a case and you end up ripping it and you get it? You know what I mean? Most of the time, whales are just rich and they just absorb all of the stuff. And I don't know. I would imagine.
No, but that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking any normal and any collector, any not the big high rollers.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But you're talking about, I mean, my gosh, if I had a box and I opened it, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm good. I mean, and I'm going to sell it as fast as I can because I can't stand the player.
Right.
That's my incentive. Right?
Yeah. The only time it'd be hard for me is if it was like something I would PC. But I mean, even if it's like that once in a lifetime card, it's like you can still sell that once in a lifetime card and get some pretty good cards and money.
Yeah.
Like, think of how many like Clemente rookies like that kid could have bought for that one Mac Jones he sold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, guy handed over a what? 100? What was it? 100,000?
100,000. Yep.
$100,000.
I think it's worth like $2,000 today.
Yeah.
That's only because it's a 1-of-1 and the guy's still playing.
The ultimate take it in the shorts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hear people complain. Oh, I paid $12,000 for this card. It's worth $800.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some guy paid $100,000 for Mac Jones, and it's worth a couple of grand at best.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for you, but the other guy, he took I mean,
yeah.
How do you explain that one?
Yeah, it's rough.
Well, I mean, I could never imagine just having, 100 G's to go ahead and to spend on a card
Mm-hmm.
that you were depending upon said player to become a star.
Yeah. Tell you what, though, no one probably cares more about Mac Jones' well-being than that guy.
That's true.
He probably cares just as much as Mac Jones' mama.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. The Drew. Yeah, that's true. I think it was. Wasn't it? Was it David Adams that paid the 250 for Drew Jones, Andrew Jones's kid? That
For that, yeah.
That whatever that was. No, it was Drew Jones. I think it was the 1-of-1 mojo or something along those lines. David Adams. Because David Adams said that what they did was they said, hey, if you sell it to us, it'd be 250,000. But if you held on to it, the offer was sell it now. We'll give you a $250,000. Hold on to it, and if the guy makes the Hall of Fame, we'll give you $1 million. That is that to me. That is a no freaking brainer.
Yeah.
Hold on, Mr. David Adams. I will fly to you and deliver this card. Yeah. You got that right. Oh man. Hey, you want to talk some wrestling? We have a big event coming up this weekend.
Sure. I mean, I'm a little rusty. I haven't watched a whole lot lately just because I've
That's
been
okay.
in transit and stuff. But yeah, let's talk about it.
We have Night of Champions, which it's really only Night of Champions if you're in Riyadh. For the rest of us here in the United States, it is afternoon or morning of champions.
I see. Yes, you're right, because it would be a huge time difference.
What's interesting, the Prince went ahead and got an extra match. There are actually 6 total matches rather than what had been the staple of 5. We have WWE. We have the U.S. champion Trick Williams and Ricky Saints, women's title Stratton Cargill, Steel Cage Rollins Breaker, Queen of the Ring Io Sky Liv Morgan, King of the Ring Obafemi Jey Uso, and then we had to figure a way to get Sami Zayn on the card. So let's make the undisputed WWE Championship a triple threat match.
Seems legit.
Yeah, freaking Sami Zayn got to get his way in there. So John has sent me his predictions.
All right.
So for this one, Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints, he's got Trick Williams.
Yeah, I'm going with Trick too.
I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. All right, Johnny. Take care, buddy. Be a good nurse.
Hang in there, brother.
Yeah, I don't see why you would take the belt off of Trick Williams. It makes absolutely 0 sense. I mean, I just don't. I don't understand it.
I'm with you on that.
Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill. We've seen this before. It was so bad the first time that they went ahead and cut the match, and it was like a 7-minute match. And I think that was at one of the Manias, or it was at one of the big shows, which they normally don't do. I guess maybe they thought both of these girls have gotten better, but well, you're right. Nothing does make sense, either. Like I said before, you have to look at these as just, it's not like there's, it was always Raw is the longest running episodic, show on TV. It's not that way anymore. To me, these are more like, you view to me, you view these shows, you view these events as if you were going to a football game, baseball game, basketball, hockey. What happened in, in the game yesterday means nothing to what is going to happen in the game today.
Yep.
I don't understand this one. I think what you're going to have happen in a way is I think Tiffany is going to lose, but still retain. I think after the attack that happened the other night of Charlotte getting attacked by Jade and her and B Fab and Michin, I can see Charlotte showing up, coming down, and interfering in this match to go ahead and attack Jade, or maybe attack Jade backstage or something along the lines. But I don't think they pull it. I don't think they take the belt off of Tiffany. I just don't. I don't see it. But the only reason why I say I don't see it is because of the attack that happened with on Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Tiffany's going to win this match, though, and mainly just for the reason I just don't think they believe in Jade right now. I don't think she has lived up to what they thought she was going to be coming in from AEW. So, I don't know. She's just been kind of disappointing, in my opinion. So, I think Tiffany is somebody that has been at least semi-consistent for them, and they're going to lean on that.
No, that's true, Lachlan. I mean, you would have thought they would have had, the women's, world championship rather than that one. And we have a steel cage match: Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker,
That'll be a good match.
Um,
That may be the match of the night.
yeah. John Firestarter is picking Rollins over Breaker. I don't know. Like I just don't understand what the whole thing about the Seth Rollins and the Vision. I mean, okay, so if he beats him, then does he have to go and beat up, what's his name, Austin Theory? And then when Reed comes back, does he have, like, I don't. I'm just trying to. You're thinking too much about it and saying you have to stop thinking the way you're thinking of how this all fits. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I
Squares
thing
fit
that
into
gets
circles
me.
around here.
What?
I said squares fit into circles around here.
Yeah, I don't think that they believe that. If they did, they would have her fade out of the picture. Yeah, I can understand that about Jade. I think Jade has the look, and I think that's what she has, that muscular look, which is I think what they want to see, move forward. I think they're just having a hard time figuring out where, she, I mean, the crowd doesn't like her. So, I mean, yes, you could have a heel champion. I mean, it's not like we haven't done that before, but I'm not sure. This match depends on what happens with Oba. Really? If Oba gets screwed, then they're doing Seth at SummerSlam. Seth against Roman. Seth Roman at SummerSlam. I just don't know. So does that mean then you kind of have to have Rollins win? Because you can't have Rollins lose and then put him in one of the main events at SummerSlam. Sometimes I just wonder. I just wonder what they're doing with Breaker. I mean, you talk about a guy who seemed to be the guy that was going to be the next guy, and now he's not.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it would make sense for them to put him over in a major way, but they're just not going to, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And honestly, Seth would be the guy to do it because he's such a excellent like worker. He's
Yep.
really good at putting other people over and he can basically make anybody look great. You know what I mean? So like have like a really good, like I think back to like Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Hell in the Cell. Like have a match like that inside of the cage. You know what I mean? Seth is like the perfect type of guy to have that kind of match with. So I don't know. That would be cool, but I definitely think Seth's gonna win because WWE does not a book.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think Seth's gonna win. I don't know. To me, I don't think he should. But I don't know how many times, like, again, Seth beats Breaker. What's next for Breaker? That's my, again, the young talent. Who knows what they're gonna do? Queen of the Ring, Liv Morgan, who is already a champion, against Io Sky. So I think this is good. This is an interesting one. John thinks it's going to be Io over Liv.
I kind of think so too. I mean, they're both hot, like as far as like momentum and stuff like that. But I just think right now Io has just a little bit more riding on her side.
So you have Io win to set up Io versus Rhea? Because, right, you wouldn't want to see Io against Liv again.
I mean, it would make sense to see as long as Rhea's healthy enough to step back in.
So if Rhea is not healthy enough, you could have Io win, and then Io then challenge Liv at SummerSlam again.
Could definitely see that.
As a let me go ahead and,
I think Io is kind of underrated. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she hasn't really gotten like the fullest extent of her run yet.
I agree. I think Io's going to win. I don't know because I don't know if they want. I don't know if they'll do Io against Rhea. It would be an emotional type thing and everything. I don't know how the crowd would go. You would think, would it be okay if they both kind of stayed face, during the match or anything like that? So I don't know. I mean, yeah, and I agree. Break up with Jacob and LA Knight. It would be, but to your point, why would they go ahead and pull a trigger there? So I don't know. I'm leaning more towards EO in this. I just don't see why you would have, Liv do it. But then I don't understand why'd you have Liv beat Charlotte? I mean, I guess, people don't want to see Charlotte and blah, 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 blah. But maybe they need Charlotte to go ahead and, help a Jade, because of that backstage stuff and everything, all that, from that way.
I mean, honestly, Charlotte would be really good at like helping prop up younger talent.
Yeah.
You know, it would be really cool. I'd love to see them do like an evolution type group with her.
That would be. But they're having more of the, they are. That would be cool. Or bringing up some of the younger, ladies and stuff like that. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
This one to me is the most interesting match of the night. It really is, because to Lock-in's point, if Brock supposedly, when he retired, but I guess really didn't retire at Mania after losing to Oba, you could kind of see a Brock Lesnar showing up, causing Oba Femi to lose, which he would have to, in reality, he'd have to attack Jey Uso. He wouldn't be able to attack Oba Femi, because if he attacks Oba Femi, then Oba wins because Jay gets disqualified for outside interference. At least I think that's the way it would go. So Brock would actually have to go ahead and either, do something to, hurt Oba, either maybe before the match, something, but I would think it would be more about something during the match, which could then set up a real retirement of Oba versus Brock at SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is in Minnesota this year.
That would be a really cool fitting end for Brock.
Right. But then you're saying, okay, and then if you put the belt on Jay, if you give Jay the win, Jay's not going to go after Roman. Jay's going to have to go after whoever is the champ, which boils down to this part. You have Sammy beat Cody, then you have Jay against Sammy. Can you imagine a Jey Uso, Sami Zayn as a potential main event? There's no way you could main event that match. They'll get booed out of the freaking building.
Yeah, that's another Sunday Night Heat lineup.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? What do you think about this one?
Honestly, I just can't see them not putting Oba over. You know what I mean? Just with everything that's been going on as far as building him, you don't want to lose that momentum like you have with Braun Breaker. You know what I mean? Like, man, just like if you're gonna push somebody, push them. Like.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Oba to win this one.
All right. Well, let me do a follow up then with that. So then, do you have Oba then would pick? I'm assuming he would pick Roman.
That would make sense.
Are you putting the belt on Oba Femi at SummerSlam?
Honestly, like if you want to have him be a major star, you have him retire Brock Lesnar, or you have this whole Brock Lesnar thing go on, and then if he gets Roman next, that's like a legitimate, like, I'm looking at him like he's a main event star. You know what I mean? If he continues to have people on his side while he does that,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, if you can legitimately hang with those two, because let's be honest, in the last decade, who has really hung with those two guys? Really nobody. Like, those two guys have demolished every single other wrestler that has basically stepped foot in that ring for the last 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I heard that same type of thing, that Oba goes ahead and, he has a problem with Brock at Night of Champions, with which, and then he does, he has that, and then he's able to still win the King of the Ring and then go against Roman in night 2. But I mean, to your point, what the hell do they do? My only thing is, here's my thoughts. If you're going to put the belt on Obafemi, think about like what you have seen them, how they have built him up from when he came to the main roster until today, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has to have a long run.
I would think so.
Like, he can't go ahead and have one of these, hey, okay, you're going to win the belt at SummerSlam and then you're going to lose it at WrestleMania.
I mean,
You know,
honestly,
like,
at some point they need to build somebody to have a long run. They really haven't done that really since Brock, Roman, or Cena. And they're
Yeah.
all older guys. Like, they haven't done that with anybody young in a long time.
Yeah.
At some point they're going to have to, or else they're going to be WCW before they shut down. Just pushing old guys.
Yeah. That's the thing that just gets me with this whole, with the whole thing. It's like, okay, so then if you're having Brock, I mean, if you're having Oba become King of the Ring, go to SummerSlam, beat Roman, then what the hell were you doing this whole like Bloodline 2.0 thing for then? Why were you bringing the Usos back with Roman? Why you now have Jacob Fatu with Roman? You know what I'm saying? Why did you have the other two MFT guys supposedly? Why did you break up the solos thing? I mean, so I mean, are you going to go ahead and take the belt off of Roman, put it on Oba, and then have Solo Sikoa go against a Roman for the tribal chief type thing and everything like that? Like, I don't know. I don't.
You know what would be kind of cool is if Oba gets the belt and then Roman has this whole kind of like faction all kind of going after him, kind of like they used to do back in the day versus like Stone Cold or like whomever, like was the big face who had the belt. And
Yeah.
then there was like the corporation or, whoever, all together trying to like dismantle that champion. Like, it'd be cool if they kind of brought something like that back. And Roman having kind of all of his guys, especially since he's part time, would really make that like semi feasible because they could continuously keep going after him. And then every couple months, when Roman feels like coming in and wrestling, they can kind of, bring him in for a, pay per view with him or something.
No, that's true.
Can almost kind of have him film a bunch of promos and not even be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He give him the marching orders. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, not that WWE will do anything like that, but
Yeah. You can have Solo in charge. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't. It's sad that there's no semblance of any kind of a storyline.
no.
And and I think they just reverse engineer shit now. They put, like, oh, we could put these two together. Look, remember they talked about this, 2 years ago. Oh, look, that was long-term storytelling. No, it wasn't. It was going back and watching replays.
Yeah. How far are you from like Orlando, like where they do the performance center and stuff like that?
Oh, I'm far now.
Okay,
And I was thinking,
you're probably further now that you're in Carolina than you were in Georgia, huh?
yeah,
That makes
Georgia
sense.
was probably maybe 6 hours, maybe
Okay,
7. Now it'd be probably about 11 or 12.
okay. I was just gonna say it'd be kind of cool to like go to a tour of that. Did they let people in that place?
I think they do.
That'd be really cool. I've seen it on TV where they just have like tons of rings and stuff like that, like guys in there working out.
But don't forget, isn't that where they film NXT also on Tuesdays?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Unless
so
they
I mean,
do they do it in an arena though, like Full Sail or something like that, or do they not do it?
no, no, NXT is, you know, a couple of hundred, it's just a few hundred people.
Oh, okay.
If you want to, and yeah, NXT is, to me, I mean, it's not the same, but it's kind of like, like that, going to a high school basketball, or I mean, basketball arena,
Oh, okay.
or a high school basketball gym, that type of thing. It's not very big. They're, I don't even think they have the crowd on the not on the hard camera side. I think they only have the crowd basically, you know, a little bit to the left of the ring, right behind the ring, and a little bit to the right behind. And I don't know if they go all the way around or not. Maybe they do. Never seen
Mhm.
that shot before. From that standpoint.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's true. If I had a helicopter, it would be a hell of a lot better than a boat. And then Gunther, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn. I as much as I think I don't know. This is one of those ones where, are you really gonna put the belt on Sami Zayn? I just don't get it. I don't understand when he means it. I mean, you're putting it on Gunther. I mean, I'm gonna pick Cody. I know John picked Cody. I just don't see why you would do anything different unless, Cody's looking for a vacation or something.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. They're definitely most likely going to keep it on Cody here.
I like I said, I could see, yeah, I mean, but they're going to be in Riyadh, so you can somehow see some kind of crazy crap, with Sammy going ahead and winning. It's like if Jay wins, because of an interference, and he goes on to, get a title match, you could almost go ahead and see them go, all right, so Jay wins, Sammy wins. You know, Oba wins, then it's probably going to be Cody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from that standpoint, because I don't know if you have Cody win, whoever wins the King of the Ring. I mean, then again, you'd almost have to have it be Jay would win, because you would want Jay to not go after Roman. You want Jay to go after Cody and win, and now the bloodline has both world titles and stuff.
That
I
would
just
make
can't believe that Jay Uso keeps getting a push and Jimmy Uso gets crap.
I know.
I mean, I just don't understand that, from that standpoint. So I know, but speaking of you know, speaking of wrestling though, here, oh wait, Oba beating the hell out of Coleman. Well, you're 100% correct. They do have that little bit of history, right? They did have that little bit of thing going on at John Cena's last match, right? They never got to finish that. And maybe you can have Oba go after him at SummerSlam, and then it's, hey, now let's unite the titles. Let's have, hey, There's no need for a tribal chief and a ruler. There's only room for one. Belt against belt. The winner gets both of them. Kind of like when Roman had both of them, during his reign.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So
They seem to like doing unification type
Yeah.
matches a lot.
You can kind of sort of maybe see something like that going ahead and coming out of it and everything. But I was I was looking at some stuff and everything, and I got to tell you, I missed live wrestling here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
When was it?
It was last Tuesday on the 16th, and it was at the Bull City Cider Distillery.
Okay.
And it was Dwarf Wrestling Madness. Don't miss it. Epic night. Lucha Libre. Fun-sized, extreme Dwarfinators wrestling.
Dude, you missed out.
I did miss out. But supposedly they will be coming back this way. They're in green. They wrestle, all over the place and everything. But they are going to be coming back, to this area at some point in time or close to it. Yeah. But I missed it. Mad. I'm hoping I go ahead and get another shot at it. I will not. If they come back again, I will not go ahead and be missing it.
Yeah, I'm not blaming you.
We're going to have Liv, Jade, Jay, Seth, and Sammy win and let us all quit watching them for good. Yeah, I mean, Larkin, you're right in a way. The some of the incentive to go ahead and watch this isn't. I mean, it really isn't there anymore. It's like, it's like Monday. Oh, Monday, crap. Raw was on at whatever 2:00, 3:00 because it was in London. And I was like, yeah. Even though even being retired and everything, and it wasn't like I had to figure out a way to do work and watch it. I was like, maybe I'll go ahead and watch it, at some other point in time. But here it is, Wednesday, and I still haven't watched it. I just don't. I mean, I'm not gonna, I'll go out of my, on Monday nights, I will watch it when it's on at a regular time and everything. But trying to figure out now during the days and stuff like that, it's like even Saturday, we have 2 parties to go to. Our next door neighbor is having like a barbecue thing going on, starting at like I think 1:00 or 2:00, and Night of Champions starts at 1:00. And then from there, our other friends are having a party that starts at 5:00. So we're gonna go next door for a little while, meet some neighbors. Then we're gonna go and meet some more neighbors after that. But it's like, oh man, and I want to watch it because I want to see what happens. I'm gonna try and I'm curious about the King of the Ring stuff.
Yeah,
I think that really sets up something for for SummerSlam of which way they're gonna go. I did hear that Lyra had a heel turn on Bailey, but what good does that do? I mean, I just don't know what the problem that I have, not me. Like, I just don't know what they're trying to do anymore.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us.
It's like it's. I don't know, man. You want to go ahead and I want to support the product. I really do. I'm being 100%, serious. I really want to support the product, but they're not making it. They're not making it easy. They're not making me to want to go out of my way to stop what I'm doing to go ahead, and watch.
Mhm.
Like Raw is easy, right? It's Monday night. There's not a lot going on. I mean, you know, even now, there's not a lot going on. Even before we moved or anything, right? Monday nights, not a lot. I would go ahead and I would watch. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's different. But like trying to watch, SmackDown, and it's like, it's Friday night. I don't know what, rather watch a movie or something, or go out or do something along those lines. And then with the PLEs and stuff, I mean, I didn't, I watched some parts and pieces of the one from Italy. I mean, I
Mhm.
watched the big ones, watch Backlash, watch a bunch of those. But, Night of Champions used to be something that, man, you would watch.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
honestly, all the pay-per-views used to be something you'd want to watch.
Yeah, it's true with Lyra. It does that. They're making it easy for Bailey to go to AEW, and I hope she does.
She'd
I
probably
hope
get
she does.
pushed there.
I think that would be, I think that would be good, good for her to go ahead, and get away. I mean, there's again, that's just my whole point with the whole thing is, you only have so many belts, and what are you trying to do? Like, okay, you have EO, she could have a belt. It looks like Raquel Rodriguez, like they're doing stuff with her to where she could go ahead and she should be having some kind of a belt. That's why I thought she was going to win the Queen of the Ring. And then at the end, when she won, Liv and Roxanne would come out and everything. And then it would have been the ultimate Roxanne turns on the Judgment Day, and it's like, hey, Liv's going, yeah, the clubhouse is going to have both titles. You're going to beat the crap out of Rhea, so on, blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, she turns around, beats the hell out of Roxanne, beats the hell out of Liv, and go, no, I'm coming after you. Like that would have been a good setup for that.
Yeah.
You could have done that way, but what you're going to try and do, if you're going to let EO win, you're going to have EO against Rhea at SummerSlam. Okay. They're I wonder how that's going to work, because they're two very different styles of wrestling also.
Yeah.
Power moves versus EO jumping all over the place and everything. So, I don't know. I think they have, sometimes, it's funny. You would think there's no way a company can have too much talent, but then you sit there and you go, you know what?
They have too much talent.
They might have too much talent.
Yep.
And I understand you want to promote I think, to me, I just don't understand why they don't make NXT more. Then
Yeah.
you've brought up 6 or 8 of the top NXT stars, and you see there's problems with them. I like Sol Ruka. I really do.
Yeah.
But because of the type of wrestler she is, of the acrobatic type stuff, she's not seasoned enough, and has 1 to 2 botches pretty much every single match that she goes.
Mm-hmm.
They have had great matches, right? It just doesn't. You're right. It's like, why are you going to take the friends and pit them against each other? So who do you have win? If it's EO and then she goes after Rhea, what are you doing? That's why I think, to me, there could have been, again, storylines, but we know they don't do storylines. That's why, to me, a storyline of, Roxanne go ahead and winning is something, but they have, but I don't know what they're doing. I'm trying to, um, I'm trying to not get too far ahead, because I'm not sure, what the possibilities are. I agree. That's why I'm wondering, Larkin, could you have EO beat Liv and then say, hey, you know what? I'm coming after your title at SummerSlam. Now, I know that means you get Io and Liv, in June, and then you get them again in August. But I'm just wondering if that's a possibility. No, I haven't heard any. I do not know how long she is going to be out for. I haven't heard anything. I haven't read anything. I haven't seen any of the wrestling insiders that I follow um, on X. They really haven't posted much about her or anything. So I don't know. It's just still just says she's just inactive due to the injury. Not really any kind of update. So yeah, they're still just waiting for her return. A shame. Shame. But what are you gonna do?
Yep.
It are what it are. It is what it is. I think what I think is going to be interesting what they're going to do with Julia. She's starting to speak more English. Her English has gotten better. I wonder if now they do something with her because she's another one who is very, very talented. Wanted to try and pick up a couple of her rookie cards, but she's not super expensive, but she's not super cheap either.
Yeah.
Nope. See her injury. Legitimate second-degree AC sprain of a left shoulder. Off television. The damage occurred in April. So we saw how long. What do you call it? We saw how long. Was it Rhea was out for a while? I think when she did her AC, or was it Liv? I forgot which one it was, but I mean, it was April. I mean, minimum a lot of times is about 2 months, so would be June. So maybe she's close, but I haven't heard anything. Finally having the blow up. Yeah, thank goodness. They need to move on from that. Big John, happy birthday, sir.
Birthday boys in the house.
But I don't think but I don't know. Be interesting to see how they use her, how they use Julia. Now, again, if part of the reason of holding her back a little bit was because of her English, but it being better, if that's a good push for her, that's awesome. You got what are they going to do with Blake Monroe? What are you doing? Yeah, Blake Monroe. What are you doing about Stephanie when she comes back with Julia? They already put a belt on Sorgo, but what are you doing with? Why do we still have Brie Bella and Paige as tag champs? Really?
Yeah. They love putting together just random people.
I don't know where Dami is. 41 on Saturday. What a youngster, man. I turned 62 yesterday. Yesterday was my birthday. 62 years old. Blake depends on the crowd reaction. Yeah, but I mean, you brought her in from AEW right away. You had her go ahead and go to NXT, win some stuff, and now you bring her up again. Are you just playing the game? What are you actually doing? I again, like we said a little while ago, at some point in time. Thank you, sir. At some point in time, you have all this talent in the world. What do you do? And you think about some of the other ones. What are they doing with the veterans? What are you doing with Charlotte Flair? Is Charlotte Flair? Charlotte Flair. Let that sink in. Charlotte Flair.
Woo!
Becoming more of a jobber?
Pretty much. unfortunately.
I mean, really? Charlotte Flair, a 15-time champion becoming a jobber?
It's WWE for you.
Or for Fatal Influence and shit like that for Jade Cargill? You know, what are they doing? You know, Alexa Bliss? What, I mean, you know, what are they? Oh, you know, everybody put, it's going to be great. They're going to have that. They're going to split up and, you know, Alexa's going to attack Charlotte and so on and so forth. It's like, okay, for what? What are you going to do with it? You know, I just don't. I don't get it, man.
She's another one should go to AEW. She probably never will, but honestly, she'd probably get a way bigger push.
Well, I think, you know, who knows? You may have some of these wrestlers, especially on the women's side, who, let's face it, they really didn't have any place to go until AEW.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do? They're going to go to Glow, you know, or Wow.
For sure.
So, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be, man, the Knicks. I can't believe they're not taking that freaking guy from UNC. Oh, well. Well, all right, gang. Hey, great talking with everybody. Anthony, thank you for jumping on.
Yeah, my pleasure. I wish I could have had my camera on longer. My phone's all messed up. It's dying, and for some reason, it doesn't want to stay on.
No problem. Don't jump off real fast after I end, though. Thanks a lot, everybody, hanging out. We'll see. Hopefully, John will be able to back. We'll be able to be back next week, and we'll talk some more sports. Probably talk a little bit about the shenanigans that happened in Riyadh. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Much appreciated.